Hello, we hope that today you're having a good day. My name is Andrea.
And my name is Dulce, and in this video we will talk about concepts of the most important science that allow us to have a great idea and perspective
About ourselves as humans, living beings, the place where we live, and the answer to the question how we continue here.
That's right, we are talking about geography and ecology. Earth. It's the main state of the atmosphere in a given Earth zone. It will determine how flora and fauna can develop in a specific location. This concept of geography is related to the environmental law, a concept of ecology that protects the environment that is related because this law protects our planet in the sense that it forbids some kinds of pesticides. Earth is also related to the concept of ecology, ecosystem, because the planet is where we all develop and evolve. Water is vital for every living organism on Earth. The main portion of water on Earth is liquid and salty, and it is found in the oceans. The concept can be related to the concept of ecology called ecosystem. An ecosystem is a set of living organisms that share the same area and make the area develop. But how are these two concepts related? Well, the water is mostly in the oceans, and the oceans can be considered aquatic ecosystems. This concept can be also related to the biotic factors, a concept of ecology that refers to the physical and chemical conditions to the environment that can produce disasters, and the water can also cause natural disasters, such as tsunamis. Climate is the main state of the atmosphere in a given zone. It will determine how flora and fauna can develop in a specific location. It is related to the abiotic factors. Some of the abiotic factors, like disasters, derive from the climate. It also relates to the environment, because the environment can be affected by natural factors such as climate. Population. It has to do with human population, which is not distributed uniformly. It is influenced by the kindness of climate and the existence of natural resources. Population is related to a branch of ecology called synecology. Synecology studies the interaction of two or more populations in the same geographic area. Population is also a level of organization in ecology. But a population is formed by individuals that are living organisms that are distinguished from a class. The Moon. It is the Earth's only natural satellite, a sphere composed by heavy chemical elements. The Moon is essential for an ecosystem to exist because as the Sun provides heat and energy, the Moon helps the ecosystem to grow food. The Moon also helps to change the climate of some environments. Galaxies. A huge amount of stars gather in groups. This concept of geography is related to the concept of ecology ecosystem. A galaxy, also an ecosystem. It may not have living organisms, but it has bodies such as planets or satellites that produce energy. Humidity is the quantity of water vapor per cubic meter. This factor can affect the populations and communities because there are some living beings that depend on that factor to survive or not. Another concept with this is related is the ecosystem. Humidity affects the temperature of ecosystems in a good or bad way. Geological eras. It refers to all the stages that Earth has been through and how living organisms have evolved. The geological eras can be related to the biotic factors, while the biotic factors are those that regulate the growth of some populations. And these concepts are related because thanks to the biotic factors, such as competition and predation, a lot of animal species have disappeared throughout the history, and thanks to that the eras were created, because the extinction of some species have led to the existence of new species that at the same time create new conditions of Earth. Physical geography deals with the studies of natural phenomena, that is, those not involved with human activity, such as hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, storms, or tornadoes. It is related to the abiotic factors, that thanks to the natural disasters, the growth of population is controlled. Communications. Since the adaptation of human groups to the landscape, communication became necessary to exchange goods, people, and products, modifying in that way the natural landscape. It is related to the communities because in a community, two or more populations exchange properties to help each other to evolve. It is also related to biology because in the communication, two or more populations coexist and can be studied. Evolution. It studies the transformation that geographical events and phenomena undergo. This concept is related to the concept of ecology called intrinsic factors, that refers to how organisms develop high mortality rates. When an organism evolves, this can develop new capabilities that can allow them to live more. Evolution is also related to the emergent properties. The emergent properties allow organisms to evolve and improve its chances of survival. Biological geography. Its field of study is the flora and fauna distribution and the relationship with the environment. This concept is related to the branch of ecology biology that studies the life. These concepts are related because both of them study why the living organisms exist in conditions and in places where they are. Biological geography is also related to the extrinsic factors. Those factors refer to all abiotic and biotic factors that cause mortality rate or inhibit reproduction. So these concepts are related because biological geography also studies why animals die or can reproduce in some kinds of environment. Relation. It refers to existing coordination between geographical phenomena and social and biological events that happen in a place. This concept is related to ecosystem, the concept of ecology. These concepts are related because in an ecosystem the organisms relate. It is also related to community, the concept of ecology in which two or more populations share the same area. So it is related because these two concepts refer to the coexistence of two or more organisms. Physical maps. They represent physical phenomena, for example, the distribution of different kinds of soil, climates, zones. The physical maps can be easily related to abiotic factors, while the abiotic factors refer mostly to disasters. It can also be related to the concept ecosystem. Some kinds of ecosystems can be represented in a physical map. Sun. It is a yellow star that even located 150 million kilometers away from Earth, it's still its source of energy. A concept of ecology that we can relate to the sun is the environment. The environment needs energy to the sun to coexist. Another one can be the extrinsic factors, because in some places of Earth, the heat caused by the sun inhibits the reproduction of flora and fauna.
A concept of geography will be a marine erosion, which is caused by waves, tides, etc. Speaking of the oceans, we can refer to the hydrosphere since water is the most abundant substance on our planet. As next, we have anthropic and biological erosion. Anthropic erosion is the one that is caused by human activities, and biological erosion is caused by plants and animals. These concepts could be rationalized with extrinsic factors since they are uses that, depending on their intensity, could affect the reproduction and cause mortality thanks to the erosions of living beings. The concept of meteorology that talks about the climatic changes in our planet, both the change of the air like in rain, snow, and thinking it more thoroughly, what causes the rains and snows has to do with the water cycle, this causing precipitation. The seasons. The seasons talk about the rotation of our planet causing the different temperatures because of the position we take with the sun. That's the way that the environment get in. Because of the changes and the rotation we have, it's sure that the environment keeps changing and being the way it is. The climate zones are the ones that can determine the way the living beings in a space are capable to live with. Because of that, the climate helps to determine how the living beings are going to live, and the biotic factors are the factors that help the living beings to preserve in an environment. That's what they have in similitude. The natural landscape can be known as a type of environment. By the general, the natural landscape is where the organisms as planets or animals living together, and there are can be their similitude. The cultural landscape is the type of ecosystem that has been created to adapt it to the needs of humans, as in the concept that represents populations, because each one of us tries to adapt the space where we live as humans for a better comfort between us. The geographical phenomena are the disasters that pass away in the Earth's surface, and by talking about that, there are two classifications that can be evaluated. Primary succession, that are the disasters that cause a severe damage with the soil, and the secondary succession, that is the less intense that can cause damage. Biology, it is always going to have something with everything that has life in this planet. It's in charge of study it. The flora and fauna are concepts that the biology has to be in charge. Flora talks about all the types of plants in the ecosystem, and fauna about the animals that live in an ecosystem, and biology is in charge of them. One of the weather elements that we saw on geography is actually a step of the water cycle that we saw on ecology, precipitation. That it's the part where all the evaporation it condenses in the clouds in its limit, and it starts to drain by raining or sometimes in high temperatures to snow. In geography, we learn about the layers of the Earth, in which one of them was the troposphere. It is the most inferior and dense layer, where almost all the atmospheric phenomena occur. Rains, hurricanes, winds, etc. And that take us to the biotic factors as not lived type of phenomena that attacks the surface, our homes, and everything that bonds to our conformity. And for our last concept of geography, we are going to talk about the topological maps. Are the ones that shows the rivers of a state or nation, a more simple way of visualism. Once again, talking about the hydrosphere that we saw in geography, the water cycle that the runoffs, it's a step on the water cycle from the rains. The lakes and the rivers can be fed again. In that way, we can continue locating them in the topological map.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope we bring you more knowledge about these important subjects about everything alive around us, geography and ecology.